What's up, guys? Sean Russell here from Menprovement.com, and today I have a very special interview for you. I was lucky enough to sit down with Mark Bowden, the #1 body language expert in the world, and talk to him in this hour-long interview about how you can change the way the world sees you just by changing your body language. Here's a fact. You are programmed to be indifferent to people on a subconscious level. You see hundreds of people every week, and most of them you never even notice. But have you ever seen someone and instantly thought to yourself, wow, that person just looks amazing. There's something about them. I'm extremely attracted to them. They look friendly, and I want to meet them. Imagine if you could make it so that you were this person just by tweaking your body language. Well, this is what we talk about with Mark today, because you can certainly do this. It is 100% possible. Just by tweaking things that you do and the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you look, you can be that kind of guy that people see and instantly want to get to know. You can hold conversations and keep people captivated and not bored and not just thinking about what they had for dinner or any other nonsense that comes in your mind. You can be better than you are now, because you probably are an incredible person, but I'm all about being the absolute best version of yourself. And after I learned these tricks from Mark, I'm shocked that I've been living my life without them. I've been living my life at a level that's lower than my highest potential. And just by changing a few things that I do on a daily basis, I can be a better version of myself. And that's what you're gonna learn in this video interview. The reason it's a video is because essentially Mark demonstrates everything that he talks about today. Usually we do it on the podcast and it's all audio, but to really grasp these concepts, I encourage you to watch this video. It's an hour long, but it will change your life. 1 hour commitment to have a lifetime of positive impact, bigger impact in the world. So enjoy this. I'm excited for you to see it because it was truly, truly amazing. This is my interview with Mark Bowden, the #1 body language expert in the world, on how you can change, dictate, and manipulate in a positive way the way people see you and think about you in the outside world. What's up, guys? I'm here today with Mark Bowden from truthplane.com. He's an author, he's a body language expert, and he's an overall great guy. I'm really excited to have him on the show. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Yeah, great to be here, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what exactly is your title now, would you say?
So I think of myself as an expert in human behavior and body language. And so what that means is that I spend a lot of my time traveling all over the world, speaking to people, often keynote speeches to sometimes thousands of people, or talking to small groups or individuals, or helping those individuals one-on-one on how to stand out and win trust every time they communicate, and mainly through their use of nonverbal behavior. So I hope that's a clear explanation of what I do. There aren't many of us out there who focus in this area, so it's not like you can kind of go, so I'm a builder.
Yeah, no, I know what it's like. Even myself, when people ask me what I do, it's really difficult to put it into something that most people would understand. So I kind of just say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, and then they ask me, what do you entrepreneur? And I'm just like,
right.
Oh, I don't want to get into this, you know.
You still get yourself into a mess with that.
It's always, but yeah, it's really cool. How long have you been doing this, and how'd you get into this field?
So I've been in the area of, I would say, behavior for most of my life. You know, I went to a university and I studied performing arts, which was a great introduction in terms of how you tell stories with moving images, essentially. So I started off looking at how to influence and persuade other human beings as to what a narrative is, as to the story, via the physical movement that was going on. Or certainly that was my real focus. I wasn't so interested in performance where people spoke. I was more interested in performance where people just moved. So I started off there, and then, I would say maybe 8 to 10 years ago, I really started focusing on this area of how I could help people, mainly in business, or in large organizations. I work with a lot of people who are in healthcare, for example, how I could help those people stand out and win trust when they were speaking, rather than the world of performance.
Yeah, and I've got to say it's really cool. I've got to say I watched your TED Talk 2 nights ago, like I told you, and you're an incredible speaker, and you won my trust. I was captivated by the screen. It was really you took on a roller coaster ride. You really controlled the crowd just with your emotions, your smile, and your body language, and it was incredible. So thank you for that.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for watching it. And anybody else who wants to watch that speech, just Google Mark Bowden and TED, TED, and it'll come up somewhere. So take a look at that. And just to say, I train people all over the world in how to make speeches just like that. It's all technique, essentially. That doesn't mean there's no heart to it. There's a lot of heart to it. But even if you've got real heart or passion for what you want to say, you can always do it better if you've got technique. And that's what I train people in, is the techniques of how to move, how to speak. That means you're most likely to win the trust of other people. They're most likely to take your message in a very positive way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to get in today. How like the average guy can tweak his behavior and kind of manipulate the way the world sees him. And what I like in what you talked about in your TED Talk was that it's like the power of being unauthentic, because if you were authentic, then you'd be kind of slouching and you wouldn't really captivate the people you were talking to. But by being unauthentic, you're manipulating your movements and your smiles, and that's what gains you the trust in people. And it's a really innovative idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think before we move on, let's just talk about this word manipulation, because I bet, the moment you and I say this word manipulation, there's a whole bunch of people out there who are going to go, oh, I know what this is about. This is about how you can get one over on somebody else, how you can be kind of dishonest with them. And manipulation has got a pretty bad rap, essentially.
Yeah.
The word is not a negative word. I mean, you can either manipulate a situation to somebody else's disadvantage, or manipulate it to their advantage, or manipulate it to everybody's advantage. We are manipulative. Human beings are manipulative. We've got these, nothing on the planet can manipulate the environment like we can, often for good, sometimes for bad, okay? So human beings are manipulative, and we are going to manipulate accidentally. And sometimes we can manipulate on purpose. What I'm interested in is how we can manipulate on purpose to the advantage of parties, to your advantage, to my advantage, to everybody's advantage, to take away the advantage of somebody who's too advantaged in your view. Look, I don't know what the listeners and viewers of this are going to do with the technology that I might be able to give you, the tools and techniques that I might be able to give you. They're powerful tools and techniques. And obviously I would hope people will manipulate to the advantage of as many people as possible with them. But let's just get out of the way of manipulation being a bad thing. We do it all the time. We do it accidentally, and it might hurt people. We want to do it on purpose to our advantage and other people's advantage. Hope that makes sense to you.
No, it's good that you explain that, because the word manipulation is an evil word in our society. But I'm big on manipulating the way people see me, in the fact that they trust me and that I can help more people and just be a more confident man. So thank you for clearing that up. And
sure.
What I want to jump into is the science behind how people see you, because one thing you talked about in your talk that I really liked was that we're basically programmed to be indifferent to most of the people we bump into in our lives. And I never really thought about that, but it's very true.
Right. So I would say that is our authentic state. That is our true state, is that the reality is I'm designed to be indifferent to you, Sean, because you're not part of my immediate family. You're not even in close proximity to me. Although I can see you on camera, there's no real biological reason why I should be looking at you and going, oh, okay, there's an interesting guy. Maybe we can help each other. Maybe there's something good going to happen here. There's 7 billion people on the planet right now, and my brain only has capacity to have a strong relationship with a tiny, tiny amount. Okay, so it's not designed to really make a strong connection with you or anybody else that I might see out there. So my natural behavior is to be indifferent to the majority of people on the planet. Your natural behavior, and anybody listening or watching this, their natural behavior is to be indifferent to people they see as they move around. You know, think if you have been through a major urban environment today, you've passed by certainly hundreds, probably thousands, potentially tens of thousands of people. And my guess is you can't remember hardly any of them. Nobody's probably had an impact on you if you've moved through a city, because your brain, your primitive brain, has walked through the streets basically clocking everybody, seeing everybody, and going, no, not interested, no use. Basically, it goes, are you a friend? Is this person a friend? Are they showing behavior that says that if we have an interaction, we'll come out with more resource than we went in with? You know, they're going to be a powerful, let's call it like a powerful servant to me. They're going to give me resource. It'll be good. And we look at each other's behavior around that. So there's friend category. There's potential predator or enemy category. So we see somebody and instantly we kind of just move to one side and let them have the space, or, you know, we're more wary around them. And again, the primitive brain is predicting that we'll come out with less resource in an interaction with them. And again, we're watching non-verbal behavior, the body language, facial expression, but mainly the bigger body language to decide, is it a friend, is it a predator? Another category is this person a potential sexual partner? Would we be able to mate? Is there good genetic code? Are they healthy? Do we have some kind of similarity yet enough difference that the genetic combination will be healthy? But if you don't show up for other people as either friend, enemy, or sexual partner, they're never going to notice you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And there's 7 billion people on the planet that we could all make contact with, essentially, and they're most likely never to notice us, and we're most likely never to notice them, and we're most likely to keep hanging around with the people that we've always hung around with. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, because they're good people for us. That's why we hang around. But there isn't much diversity around that, and without much diversity, you don't get innovation. And so to put it in terms of a life that you lead, you maybe don't have as rich a life as you could, I would say. You maybe don't have as rich a life as you could financially, and with the fun and excitement that you can have, because you're only hanging around with people that your natural, authentic state says, this is friend. Yeah, does that make sense to you, Sean?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I love the science behind it. And I guess my question would be, I guess the goal is to become like someone that people are not indifferent to, like be able to be the kind of guy that when someone sees them, they're like, oh, you know, this guy must be important. He looks fun. I want to get to know him.
Right.
So,
right. There's a kind of a spark of interest. Yeah. And other people go, I don't know who this person is, but I think I'm going to benefit from any interaction. And they do what's called the approach response. So that means not only physically do they start to move in towards you, but mentally they start to open up to you and your ideas. So we're trying to get other human beings to do the approach response. We're also trying to trigger in ourselves to do the approach response around other human beings. Because you'll know as well as I do that in some situations we don't feel as confident as we'd like to. And what we do is the retreat response around this. We don't engage in the way we'd like to, and therefore we miss great opportunities, whether it's great opportunities in work or great opportunities in relationships, because of our natural authentic state, which is to be safe rather than sorry, to be careful rather than extravagant, Yeah?
Yeah.
We miss a whole bunch of opportunities out there, and others miss us as an opportunity. So we're trying to, using nonverbal communication, what we want to be able to do is maximize the opportunity that we are and maximize how we deal with the opportunities that are out there.
Very cool. So I guess the big question is how do we do
How
that?
do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple stuff, okay?
Yeah.
It's really simple stuff. But the key is you need to do it. No good listening to me talk about it, and after this and watching it, and then after this going away and thinking that it will self-work and do itself. It won't. You're not designed to do what I'm going to tell you to do naturally. Yeah, in situations that make you less confident, you're designed to perform in a less confident way. Yeah.
Yeah.
In situations where you're not instantly looking around the room and going, there's an interesting person over there, or I want to make myself interesting now. Yet you're not going to be designed to put on essentially the performance that I need you to put on. So first of all, I'll tell you some stuff, but then you've got to make sure you go out and do it. So let's start with something very, very simple. Let's just say there's closed body language and there's open body language. There's closed and there's open. And you can probably already think in your mind what you think closed might look like and what you think open might look like. So let me give you some quick examples. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of open hand gestures. Yeah, so this is open body language rather than closed body language. Just notice the difference when I do open hands and talk to you and when I do closed hands and talk to you. Is there a preference for you? Is there a preference in who you feel is going to be of most benefit to you? Is it causing a gut reaction in you? And notice, all I'm doing is either showing you what's inside my hands or not showing you what's inside my hands. Yeah. So even just that thing, Sean, how much of a difference does that make to you in terms of how you're gauging, how you're judging our relationship will go? There's this person here, yeah, and I want to talk to you and get across to you some of my ideas, or there's this person here and I want to talk to you and get across some of my ideas. Where's your preference, Sean?
Yeah, it's the open hands for sure. Like 100%. And for anyone who's not watching this and who's listening to this on the podcast, you will be able to see this video if you go to menprovement.com/MPP032, or if you join the Menprovement Academy, because Mark is going to be doing displays in this video, and it helps. A lot of the stuff is going to be useful for listeners, but if you want to get the extra advantage, definitely go check out the video. But yeah, it's your hands being open definitely makes a bigger impression on me, for sure. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, even that, based on that, every time I'm in an interaction with somebody where I'm trying to cause them, I'm trying to manipulate myself and them to have a strong, positive relationship with each other, I want to do plenty of open hand gestures. I've got to do that, and I've got to do it on purpose. Let's think about there's closed. And again, there's open. So when I'm doing the closed gestures, I'm just crossing my arms. And you'll have read a whole bunch of body language books that say when people cross their arms, they're closed to you, they're disengaged. And frankly, that's not entirely true. There's lots of reasons why people might cross their arms. They can be cold. They can be actually listening very carefully, and people cross their arms. Yeah. One of the ways that we stay awake and engaged. So this never means somebody's closed, but it can feel like I'm closed. So look what happens when I open up my gestures around this chest and torso area and I show you open hands. So again, there's me, and I've got some ideas that I want to get across to you, and think how you feel about, the benefit of being around me. And then, I'm closing my arms across my chest, and there's me, and I've got some ideas that I fit to you. And can you see how you're already judging me and my ideas in a more negative light? And when I open up my body language, you're judging me and my ideas in a more positive light.
Yeah, 100%. I do feel it. Yeah. And I'm actually been guilty of doing the arm close while I'm like sitting at a bar, just looking around and everything without thinking about it. And I've had to consciously kind of be like, yeah, you know, I am closed off when I do that and kind of open up my body language. So yeah, it's something that most people probably don't even think about.
That's the key, is that most people on the planet, 7 billion people on the planet, and I guarantee you the majority of them, are never going to think about their behavior today. So you can be one of the human beings on the planet that decides to think at some point during the day about their behavior, because they know the huge difference it makes when you choose your behavior over just allowing your authentic behavior. Look, here's the thing about authenticity is when everything is going right for you, when the environment is great for you, your authentic behavior is going to play out really, really well. You're going to be you're going to be having a great time, everything's going to be good, people will be around you who are friendly, it's all going to be good. And then there's the situations that put you under pressure that you're not used to, where you need to now choose the way you perform because you have an authentic goal that your authentic behavior won't ever necessarily get you. You know, what I say is that, you know, you're great, but you can be more than you.
Yeah.
You can be so much more than even what you think you could be if you start to choose the behaviors that you use. So there you are sitting in a room, and it could be a work environment, it could be a social environment. And I've got it's very comfortable, you know, it may be very comfortable for me to sit like this. It may be very comfortable, but does it attract people towards me? Does it attract people who I could share resource with, that we could do business together, that we could have a good social situation? Does it attract people towards me? Well, maybe it still does. That's okay. Maybe it still does, but maybe it doesn't attract the different kind of people towards me who wouldn't necessarily be attracted towards me. The more open body language speaks to more people. It doesn't speak to just my tribe, as I would say. We all hang around in tribes, by the way, in little gangs, little groups, of people who are very similar to us. And I think sometimes we need to make sure that we're attracting people towards us who are outside of that natural group for us. My tribe will be quite easily gravitate towards me even when I'm closed off. They already know me, quite frankly, so they know what how I'm going to perform around them, and it's going to be good and it's going to be okay. So they pay no attention to this body language. The people who I really need to attract, for all kinds of reasons, business, social, work, they're going to be more attracted to the open body language. And so I need to purposely find a way to sit, which is more open. So we can consciously make these choices. So let me just go on to where you can be open. You'll notice that I've been gesturing a lot at chest height in an open way to you right now, because actually that's just way more exciting. The moment your gestures come up to chest height, it's what I call the horizontal gesture plane of passion. It's passionate up here. It's exciting. You're probably getting the sense that something good is going to happen. It actually raises your heart rate and blood pressure when you see another human being gesturing at chest height here. What I'm going to do is pull back a little bit so you can see this. And I'm now going to gesture at navel height here. Again, open hands. And have you now noticed you've got a different idea about me now? You've probably noticed, give me some thoughts about what kind of person you now have with you.
You look like you're like a more relaxed and refined kind of guy, not as charismatic.
Right.
Yeah.
So up here, kind of exciting, charismatic, as you say, And down here now, I'm calmer, more refined, as you say. I often use the word assertive and calm and assertive. This creates, when you gesture, again, open hands at navel height. You can do this standing. I'm sitting at the moment, but you can do this standing. So open hand gestures at navel height. it causes not only you to actually become and feel calmer and more assertive and more open, but other people viewing this body language are triggered into really feeling you're calm and assertive. They won't be able to detect at all the butterflies that might be happening in your stomach, the feeling in your mind of unconfidence, maybe in a certain situation. They'll just be, as we said before, manipulated, by the body language that you give off. And again, let's go back on that idea of manipulation. We're trying to manipulate for benefit. We're not trying to manipulate to get the upper hand or to try and convince people with something that we're not. All human beings at some point are confident. All human beings at some point are unconfident. I'm just trying to choose more the places that I come across as confident, because I'm a little less confident. And if I felt and could come across as more confident, there would be a big benefit for everybody. So we've got this gesture plane here, which I call the truth plane, because in this area, at belly height, you get a sense that I'm trustworthy, that you can rely on me, I'm calm, assertive, and stable. Up here in the passion plane, you get a sense that I'm exciting, not necessarily totally credible. The credibility might come here. So there's just two really important places, chest height and belly height, that you can give open gestures at to get your audience, the people around you, to give them a profound feeling about you. Does that make sense to you, Sean?
It does, and it's fascinating. I love how all of this stuff happens at a subconscious level automatically without you being able to necessarily control how you feel about someone. So just by changing where you put your hands, by deciding where you put your hands, even in an uncomfortable situation, you will make people look at you and feel that you are confident, that you are trustworthy, and you can control your environment. And that to me is incredible, because like you said, like, you're great now, but you can be even better. Imagine if you these little tweaks, that's the 1% difference that separates like one man from a man who is just on the next level. And that's what this show is all about. That's what I'm all about. So it's fascinating stuff, and I'm loving it. So what else can we do?
Sure. So notice the stuff that I do with my face, for example. Let's talk about the face here. In that, what do you tell me, Sean? What do you notice about my face when I'm in this interview with you? What is it that you notice that is engaging about my face?
You look very happy.
Right.
First off, yeah, definitely very happy, and kind of animated.
Right. So the reason that you might believe that there's a sense of happiness is that what I'm trying to do the majority of the time is give you what we call a Duchenne smile, which is the sides of the mouth turn up and the eyes narrow to put little wrinkles here. And that's a universal gesture across the planet, that you are unconsciously programmed to respond to in a way that says, there must be something good going on. Because he's smiling, it's good. There's something good happening. So it's the universal signal of, it's good now. And I can do this on purpose. Now, look, meanwhile, we're having this interview, and look, the reality is, the authentic reality is this is my home office, by the way, and as I was telling you earlier, Sean, we have no, because it's so cold in Toronto at the moment where I am, and the permafrost has gone right down, we've got no water coming into the building right now. Yeah. So actually, on my mind at the moment is, what are we going to do about getting the water in? We're going to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of water. How are we going to cope with all of that? Yeah. And that actually is because, as you know, for human beings, when human beings don't have water, it's a pretty big problem. Yeah. Especially human beings like me who are used to having it piped to them. Yeah. In terms of my guess is you come across, Sean, and your listeners will at some point, maybe you've talked about it on a show at some point, you probably come across Maslow's pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, where at the bottom Okay, so at the bottom in the hierarchy of needs, you've got, the basic things: food, light, heat, water. Yeah. And above that, you've got things like relationships, being part of a group. And then right at the top of the pyramid, you've got what they call self-actualization, which is kind of feeling fulfilled and feeling, I guess, spiritually fulfilled to a certain extent. Well, at the moment, for me, the bottom of Maslow's pyramid has been kind of ripped out. I've got no water. Yeah, and that's not like I can't get it because I only need to walk, a few yards round the corner and be able to lift. Well, I'll probably have to shift maybe about 32 liters of the stuff. It's going to be pretty heavy. So it's not a huge problem. Yet I am consumed by this problem. But my guess is, if I hadn't told you that, you just wouldn't know. Because I'm choosing purposely not to show it in my body, because it wouldn't be helpful to show it in my body. It wouldn't help our interaction, our relationship, and it wouldn't help the interaction with your viewers, your listeners at the moment. Okay. Now, if I were to show it in my body, then what you'd probably get is this here: somebody who's already thinking, look, I'm down to, I've only got that much of a glass of water left, for this interview. So even just taking a sip is a little bit worrying. Yeah, and you'd have this person here. Now, tell me about your thoughts, feelings, and concerns about the person you're now interviewing. How do I come across to you now?
Yeah, well, you're clearly upset. You're disgruntled. You've got a lot on your mind. You don't look like you're enjoying yourself. You don't want to be here.
Right. So what if I tell you, Sean, look, I'm really happy to do this interview with you.
Yeah.
Great. It's great to talk to you and to your viewers and listeners today. Does that make it any better for you?
No, I mean, your mouth is saying it, but your body and facial expressions are not saying it, and it doesn't mean anything when that's going on to me.
And I guess even for those who are just listening to this at the moment, my guess is though they didn't see the body language, they could hear in the tone of voice that it's somebody who kind of doesn't want to be there. The tone of voice doesn't fit the words that I'm using. Does that make sense, Sean?
Yeah, so I was wondering that. Does your tone of voice typically automatically change based on your bodily expressions and things like that?
Yeah, let's just test that. Here I am with this body language that I'm giving you now, where my head is away from you at an angle, my chin is down, my brows furrowed, and my body is more slumped, I would say. What do you notice about my tone of voice that's coming from that? Because I'm not doing anything with my tone. I'm just speaking naturally in a way that comes with this physical position. What do you notice about that tone of voice, Sean, and how would you describe it, and how does it make you feel?
It's almost like a sad tone of voice. It's slower. It's just dull, and it's fascinating that's just how you speak naturally because of the way you are putting yourself in that position. Yeah.
So it's dull. We're getting this downward intonation that comes at the end of each line, which is a universal signal for depression or that something is over. It generally has a negative connotation to it psychologically. And my guess is that you're almost feeling like checking out of this interview. And some of your listeners, I won't do this too long, because some of your listeners would actually start to switch off. If they haven't already drifted off somewhere else, they've disengaged. Disengaging.
Yeah. It is hard to keep interested in. I could feel my mind kind of just floating around, looking around the room. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you're having to work right now at staying engaged with me.
I am.
I'm causing you to have to do the work of engaging. And I would say that's not good, because if you're not part of my tribe, you will just disengage immediately and I'll lose you. And you could have been a great opportunity for me, and I could have been a great opportunity for you. So let's change that tone of voice. And we're going to change the tone of voice simply by changing my body. I'm honestly not going to do anything with my vocal cords. Yeah, they're quite hard to manipulate anyway. So here I go. All I'm going to do is sit more upright in my chair, and again, bring my hands to an open position at the chest area. What do you already notice about your behavior around me, Sean? I can see you're smiling immediately on the camera there.
Yeah. It's night and day,
Yeah, night and day. Exactly. You've gone from darkness into light.
Yeah.
Again, describe what you notice about the tonality of my voice now. Now my hands have moved to chest height and they're open.
It's gone up. It's exciting. It's sped up slightly, and that downward inflection is gone, and it's exciting. Like, I want to listen to what you're saying. I'm like captivated.
Right, and it's the same guy giving you the same content. And remember, a while ago, you were having to work and you wanted to disengage. And also, here's the interesting thing. You've got a vested interest in this and you want to disengage. Like, you've invited me here. And if I do that body language, your primitive brain goes, let's just get out of this. There must be somebody else to talk to. Yeah? And look, here, you've got, you've managed, through your ability to connect with people, you've managed to get one of the top body language experts in the world on your show with you. Yeah, so you've done a great thing there. But can you already feel how your gut is telling you there must be somebody better? There must be a more interesting interview to have. Yeah, and the moment I turn around and I bring myself here, suddenly you're delighted by the expectations. You go, oh, great, I made the right choice. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's the same guy. It's the same person. I'm just manipulating you to feel a different way about me. Now, I've just got to know, though I unconsciously, this may have more comfort for me. This may be the more honest and truthful and authentic behavior for me. It's not good for our relationship. Yeah, it's not good. It's not going to get us what we need. Yeah. Let's just have a listen to the tone of voice now. If I just bring my hands down to this belly area here. So I'm in the truth plane again, open hand gestures. Yeah. Again, what do you notice about the tone of voice that's naturally coming with this? I'm not trying to manipulate my voice in any way. I'm just allowing it to do what it naturally wants to do with this body language. Give me some feedback on that, Sean. How does this feel to you?
It's less exciting and intense, but it's very relaxed and very truthful, like you said. Like you're about to tell me a story, something very like serious or an anecdote or something.
Okay, so it has more. Sometimes people say it has more kind of gravitas to it. It has more quality. It's not heavy like you had before. It still has a lightness that can engage, but it's not as frivolous as up here at the chest area. Yeah. Oh, let me just show you this. All I'm going to do is now drop my hands down by my sides. They're just kind of between my legs now in my kind of lap area. Yeah. And I want you to notice, what do you notice now about the way you're responding to me and my tone of voice? How do I come across to you now?
You come across very boring and monotone and just like someone who doesn't have anything interesting to say.
Right. So all I've done is just drop my hands down, down by the side, and you could do this standing. Most people will do this standing, in fact, because it's the most efficient way to stand in terms of energy, to stand with your hands down by your side, because it takes very little energy to do it. To stand with your hands in this truth plane or in the passion plane takes way more energy. So we'll tend to do this, but you're naturally finding that my vocal tone, the vocal tone that comes with this, isn't engaging for you. And what if I tell you, Sean, that you have on your show right now one of the world's top, in fact, I was ranked for last year and this year the #1 body language professional in the world. So that's who you have. Yeah, that's who you have on your show. And what are you optimistic about this interview right now? Are you pessimistic?
in the present state, it's
the present state.
pessimistic based on how you're acting.
Right, but it's been okay. The guy who you were interviewing before was pretty good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, you still got the same guy.
Yeah.
My knowledge hasn't gone anywhere. Okay, so you're still going to get the same quality of content. I'm just going to deliver it like this. Would you be okay with that?
No. No.
But it's top quality content, Sean.
No, it's not.
So you can see how your gut is going. It isn't top quality content.
Yeah.
but rationally it is. So you can see how, rationally, the brain doesn't rationalize as much as we'd like it to. Rationally, it shouldn't bother you which one of me you have delivering to you, but your gut instinct says, get the guy that's exciting, or get the guy who's calm and assertive, but don't get this guy who's troubled by everything, and don't get this guy who seems kind of low key. Yeah. So I hope that demonstration made sense, and certainly I really hope that people can see it clearly if they're watching, and even people who are listening, they can hear that tonality of voice.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible to see, and if you're not seeing it and you're listening, definitely check out the show notes at menprovement.com/MPP032. And it's so easy to see, and it's so simple. Now I look back and I'm like, wow, I've been conversing my entire life with people, and I haven't been doing these things. I haven't been controlling these things. How have I not been doing this? Like, I feel like I've just missed out on so many opportunities already, and I'm excited to go out there and use this stuff. A simple smile. So a fake smile when your eyes don't cringe, that's not good enough, right?
Right. Yeah. So you put your finger on it. It's no good just going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that doesn't have the eyes in it. You have to be able to produce those eyes. And lots of people are going to be thinking, and they'll say to you, and if you talk about this with people, they'll go, yeah, but you can't fake a smile. Or although sometimes they'll say, you shouldn't fake a smile. I don't agree with that. Look, there are times when I don't feel like smiling. Yeah, there are times when I don't have that feeling of pleasure, of joy, but I need to get a good relationship with the person that I'm having a conversation with, and I need to smile with a genuine smile, but I need to produce it. Because I genuinely want to have a great relationship with the person that I'm talking to. But for whatever reason, somewhere else in my life, or something about that conversation isn't making me feel so good. Yeah. But I need to look past that and go, how can I produce some nonverbal behavior that will cause both me and them to feel this is good, this is going well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I need to be able to practice producing that face that says it's good, it's okay, and it's just practice. Yeah. Listen. Oh, by the way, I first started practicing this. You remember I was saying I was back many years. Maybe about 20 years now. I was training in performing arts, and I also read a book, which is a brilliant book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yeah, by Dale Carnegie. My guess is you've probably read it. My guess is that you're probably advising people to read it. And my guess is that many people listening have read it. And so people often say to me, so, what books should I read? Well, obviously, Winning Body Language is a good book to read. My books are good. But I also say, you should read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then you should do what he says. Because often people go, oh, yeah, I read that. Yeah. And I say, but did you do it? Oh, yeah, I didn't. So one of the things he talks about is smiling. Like, it's in his book. Yeah, and he wrote it, in the 1920s sometime, I think. If not then, 1930s. And he said, look, smile. And here's what a smile looks like. And you've got to do it on purpose. And I tried that. And I would go around and I would smile. And I'd be getting the groceries, and I'd smile, and I'd notice a huge difference in the way other people behaved around me. A huge difference. But I had to do it on purpose. Yeah, I had to do it on purpose. We can win friends and influence, and we can win a certain amount of friends and influence a certain amount of people by just being us. But I would suggest we can't win as friends and influence the amount of people that potentially we could without choosing behaviors. And choosing that smile is one of the ways to do it. And you've just got to do it and practice it. Yeah. So you got to decide on a day. You got to decide, you know what, I'm going to walk along the street and I'm going to smile at people. And I'm going to smile at people who there's no reason why I should smile at them. No reason. I'm going to be at the checkout with my groceries. I'm going to smile at the person checking out. There's no reason why I should smile. This is just an interaction. This is just a fiscal interaction between goods and a service. And there's no reason for a smile, but I'm going to do it on purpose. So I'd say anybody watching or listening, I really want you to try this stuff and do it and make time in the day where you decide to do this. You decide to smile. You decide to talk in the passion plane. You decide to talk in the truth plane. And then I want you to notice the difference. So yeah, you got to do it on purpose.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. It's all about, for me, it's like many things when it comes to habits and anything. It's about being conscious about what you're doing. And the more you practice it, the more you try, the easier it becomes, and you'll start to do it naturally, like you do now. Like it's like breathing for you, I'm sure.
Right.
And it's just all about being conscious of what you're doing in any moment, and just catching yourself as much as you can, and just correcting, auto-correcting until it becomes automatic. And this has been really, really incredible, this interview. It's been eye-opening. So I guess we'll cut it here, but where can people learn more from you, and what do you have coming up for everyone in the future?
Great. So I'd love people to get along to my website, which is www.truthplane.com. So that's TRUTHPLANE, truthplane.com. Go along there and you can watch more video of me. You'll see my TED Talk there. There's a part of it also called Presentation Genius. If you go to presentationgenius.com, there's some free videos there on how to present in a great way to attract people towards you, to win friends, influence people, stand out and win trust. Go to my YouTube channel. Essentially, if you Google my name, Mark Bowden, or you Google Truth Plane, you're going to come to a whole bunch of content. You might even want to pick up my book, Winning Body Language. There's Winning Body Language for Sales, and there's another book called Tame the Primitive Brain. So first stop is get to my website, Truth Plane, and enjoy the content that's there.
Absolutely. And as a future speaker and someone who does YouTube videos now, I'm going to personally check out that Presentation Genius after this, because, you know, I already feel like I've leveled up just from talking to you. So I'm excited to put this stuff into action. I can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful. I want to acknowledge you for everything you've done here, and just thanks for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us.
That's great being with you. Thanks for your great questions, and thanks everybody out there for watching and listening. And please get out there, visit the website, and do what I'm asking you to do.